memorization? Memorization is a focus activity. And people who are not good at memorization, it's not memorization, it's they're bad at focusing. You know when you're reading a book, it's a good book, and you're reading, and then you go, oh, I turned the page 4 times, and I haven't been reading anything, I've been thinking about other stuff, and you're not actually reading? I think most people when they're memorizing are kind of in that bad state. You have to actually focus. There's nothing else but the ingestion of that word. People I get paid a lot of money to go to sets and break people's line readings because they've memorized a resolve. And a lot of actors don't think they're memorizing a resolve, but they are. Ready? To be or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against sea of trouble, and by opposing end them. That actor is fucked. Because I just memorized downward intentions on every second phrase. And you know, I mean, there's one in my head, it's very famous, but the line was, that's my lie detector test, and I'm innocent, right? And that's how he memorized it. That's my lie detector test, and I'm innocent, right? And it was kind of like, actually, when he did it, it was fine. But he's wearing a Danny Glover, and I walk on a set, and they called me in, because this actor can't break his line reading. Because what was happening was Danny Glover, he expected Danny Glover to come out and go, like, you know, with a piece of paper and go, here, you piece of shit. The line was something like, here, you want to talk about this? And he said, it's my lie detector test, right? No, that's my lie detector test. And I'm innocent, right? But Danny Glover came in, laid it down, looked at him, and felt for him, and his take on the character was, you want to talk about this? That's my lie detector test, and I'm innocent, right? And the line comes out. There's nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
So you got to go in and actually have to break the line reading, which is I have to re-syllabically teach them how to memorize the line and go back and find different actions. So you memorize to be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer, and you're memorizing sounds. They're just syllables, which is why I'm very, very good at accents. Not right now. Don't ask me to do my Australian accent, mate, because it's going to be terrible. But when I sit down to learn my I know dialect and international phonetic languages, and I work with a dialect coach, when I sit down to work on it, I memorize Australian syllables. So by the time I come to it, I can't do it but in an Australian accent. That's how I memorize it. But I don't memorize intention, and I don't memorize what I think the lines are going to sound like. And a lot of people do, accidentally. And you have to be so fucking disciplined. Memorization is, I can memorize, I mean, actors who work with me, but I mean, I'm just personally, I can memorize 11 pages of audition dialogue in 10 minutes, 12 minutes, like that. Like if you hand me, I mean, I know some of you actually come to me with me to auditions, and they say, you know, could you read for this part? It's 11 pages, and I know there's a monologue in the middle of it, but do you mind? I'm like, that's all right, I'll be back in 20 minutes, and you know, I'll be off book, the sides will be on the ground. Because it's not actually that hard, you just have to focus on it. There's also the thing about the rule of threes, which I'll explain another time. But all things break into 3, so memorize in patterns of 3, and the whole thing just falls into. We speak in 3s. We live in 3s, which we'll talk about in a second, about structure. Does that kind of answer it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is there a difference between a visual learner and somebody who's an auditory learner in the way they memorize?
I don't believe there's anything like such thing as a visual learner. I think that's a mistake. And a lot of people say, you can't say that because I'm a visual person. But if you're memorizing the look of the words, it's not. I'm not speaking S-P-E-A-K-I-N-G, thinking the word speaking as I'm saying it. I am doing an auditory exercise. So memorization has nothing to do with visual, it's all auditory. When you're speaking your lines, you need to, are you ready for this? This is the most important thing. You never memorize to remember. You always memorize to forget. You need to know it so well that you've forgotten it. The best feeling, the best, it's terrorizing. And I do it all the time. I do it every day on the show. I do it too. The best feeling is, and here we go, we're rolling, and I don't know what my first line is. I don't know what any of my lines are. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say. Shit, what am I supposed to say? Fuck. Look at the guy. What's my action? Right. And action. He says something. Blah! The whole scene happens. The best state of mind is right before action. You don't know a word of what you're going to say. Because right now I don't know a word of what I'm going to say. I'm speaking extemporaneously. I'm speaking as I speak. Right? So, but if I'm S-P-E-S-P-E-A-K-I-N-A-G-A-S-I-S-P, I'm forgot. I mean, I've actually heard actors saying, I can see the page turning. I'm like, oh God! That's That's insane! If it's not happening out there, it can't happen in here. So imagine if I said, listen, we really need to talk about our marriage. I'm like an alien. That's weird.